Welcome, gentlemen and ladies, boys, girls, everybody in the Siouxland area. I'm super excited. Today we have Ariel and Lindsay with us. We're going to be talking about all things sex trafficking and the Out of the Darkness glow run that these guys have put together. It's going to be coming up in about a month, actually, October 10th, right? You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Everybody else hear me okay? Everybody put a smile on.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna ask these guys some questions. I'm actually gonna be a part of this too. I'm gonna be at the run, so if anybody wants to come join me there, me and my family are gonna be there. I don't know how much running I'll actually do, but I will definitely be there and participate. So I'm excited to help you guys and raise awareness for this cause and hopefully hit your fundraising goals. So my first question is, what inspired you guys to start this fundraiser, start this event?
So probably 6 months or so, I would say more than that. I just would see a lot of things on Instagram and different social media accounts talking about all the sex trafficking that is going on, you know, in the world and stuff. And I just made me like go down a rabbit hole basically and just dig deeper and find out how much there really is and how deep it actually goes and how many people are involved. And it's just shocking when you actually take the time to look into it and do your own research and stuff. And so I kind of just wanted to do something in our local area. And I just, I figured we'd do a glow run. It's something fun and something that gets families involved and kind of gets you out of that COVID-19 funk. It gives someone something to look forward to. And obviously Ariel is good at putting things together and she knows her stuff and she knows people. And I just know that she was like interested in helping and being a part of it. So I thought she'd be perfect to just join in and we could do it together. And that's pretty much how it started.
I absolutely love that. So I, too, am part of a different local fundraiser. Well, maybe not so much local to you guys, but a little bit more local to me. Nonprofit, I should say, that helps with sex trafficking too. And so I've been doing that for a couple years now. And the numbers of people who are affected and the types of people are affected are like mind-blowing. And I don't have a lot of the statistics in front of me. Maybe you guys can drop some of the statistics, but I know just from the little bit of research that I've done, this area is actually also like a prime, like it's almost like a hot zone with being so close to the interstates. So we actually have 3 interstates really close to us within our Siouxland area. So for those guys watching this, interstates, truck stops, things like that are like prime real estate for trafficking these people, which is insane to think about. But they're in trucks, they're in trains, they're in places that you wouldn't even think about. They're being sold at gas stations, they're being sold at cafes, it's insane. And like literally selling children and people for sex and for sexual whatever. And I'm gonna have the uncomfortable conversation because a lot of people aren't willing to go there. Go there. Think of the most unimaginable thing happening to you. That happens to people in our backyards. And we have I-90 running north of Sioux Falls, running east to west, north of Sioux Falls area. We have I-29 running north and south from the whole length of the states. And then we have I-80 that's just running through Omaha, north, east to west. And those interstates are like, and maybe you can drop some statistics if you know any about the people who are affected and how it is happening in our backyard. It's not in these big cities, like it's right here in the Midwest too.
I think that's a pretty big common like misconception with it too. Like I always think, oh, we're in small town Iowa, like this stuff isn't happening here, but it absolutely is.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, I just feel like, people want to think it's in bigger cities, and that's probably why it is so big here, is because it's not common, or people think, oh, it's not happening here, so they get away with it more because it's just swept under the rug. It's like, oh, it's Iowa, that stuff, it's Nebraska, it's South Dakota, that kind of stuff doesn't happen here. It's probably just happening in LA or Miami. And it's like, so all of these people are, like you said, just right under our noses selling these kids for sex because no one's thinking it's happening here. So they're like, we're not going to get caught here. I mean, we don't have to like watch out as much as we would if we're in LA when people are looking out for that kind of stuff. You know, I just feel like, I don't know, if you don't do your research, you're not going to know, you're not going to think. I know personally, like I'm talking to my family, they're just like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. And it's like, you're not really even like thinking about what's really happening. You're like, oh, that's bad. Anyways, what do you want for supper? You know, it's like, no, take a minute and imagine if that was your niece or nephew that they're playing in your backyard and all of a sudden they're not there.
Oof, they're gone. Yep.
Yeah, it's stuff you don't want to talk about, but I think people need to talk about it and they need to hear about it and know that, I mean, what was the statistics? It's like over 800,000 kids are sold for sex trafficking in a year. It's like 22,000 kids go missing every day. 22,000 kids every single day go missing. And I know like a big, I wouldn't
That's
say
like 2 Lamarses, if you think about it. For those who are local, I think Lamar's is like a 10,000. Their city is, I think, right around 10,000 mark. So imagine like 2 cities, like 2 of Lamar's, just poof, gone.
Right. Yeah. And kids, you know, like it's, I mean, they've done comparisons like football fields, like filled, there's 135,000 people in the stadium. It's like 5 of those, you know, it's just when you see a picture or you have something that you can like wrap your head around, it's easier to be like, oh my gosh, like you can't imagine that. And then that's
And it is
in a day.
exactly. And it is hard to imagine unthinkable things taking place, but they are happening. And unless there are people who are aware of the signs too that it is happening, there's no way to really like stop it. And so that's where the education piece comes in. And you don't have to go into every single horror story to know that the signs are there and that you can make a difference. You know what I mean? And I think another like common misconception is like this is happening to like as young as like newborn babies, like as young as like newborns. And I think, and I know people are going to be like really grossed out and like offended by that. That's real life. It's fucking real life. It is unreal, the things that are happening. And until somebody gets angry enough to make a change, it's just going to be the same thing over and over and over. And so that's where some of these things like what you guys are doing or the nonprofit that you guys are supporting. So maybe we can talk about them and their mission and how you guys ended up partnering with them.
Do you want to? Do you want me to?
Go for it.
Okay, so we chose Lila May's house. We wanted to do a couple different places, but we really liked what they stand for, and we liked that they kind of keep it small. Like they allow 7 women, or they take care of up to 7 women who have been living that lifestyle and have finally gotten out, and they help them get back on their feet. And so we like that it's more of an intimate setting. It's not just like this big place where you throw people that have got out of it and they can be one-on-one. And, you know, like you said, it's local. And when I was talking to her, you could tell in her voice that like it meant so much to her that we reached out to her, and she said, we've been praying for something to come along because COVID stopped all their funding, you know, like, so I'm sure that's happened to so many other places. We don't really think about that, but she's like, we're not allowed to have, you know, get-togethers that help us raise funds and all these things with churches. And she's like, we have no way of paying our bills when we don't have that. And so, yeah, she was really sweet and nice, and we really liked what they stood for. And we just liked the small, local, intimate setting to help women who have, you know, lived that life and finally got out and they want to start fresh.
It's so interesting that you mentioned about the COVID and the lack of funding, because I feel like there's probably a lot of nonprofits who are suffering from that right now, especially ones who really rely on these events and raising this awareness. So there's more than one way that they can support this fund. So for those who don't feel comfortable being there, you guys do have donation options available. You know, they could probably get t-shirts or whatever, but obviously you want to be there and support if you can and if you feel comfortable. And I think you guys had talked about the mask situation. You're going to be, you know, blocking people off in groups so that people aren't like all clumped together. You can wear a mask if you want. It's not required. You're going to be out in the open. It's going to be getting people out of their homes and into the community, which I think you got to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. And people may agree with me, they may not agree with me, but like we can't live in like COVID life forever. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But the other thing that you think about is everybody being locked in their homes. I can get really preachy. So this isn't about this though. This isn't about me. This is about you guys.
I know. I'm trying not to too. I'm like,
when you get really passionate about something, it's hard.
like sex trafficking and COVID. I'm like, don't even bring in Biden right now. Like,
I totally feel like I feel you.
Yeah.
No, and I love and support your guys' mission because I have too been trying to help in some way or some capacity with a lot of these, sex trafficking and things of that nature that people just don't even think about, And so the other thing that like comes to my mind is like the two things, and again, we don't have to get too much into this, but think of all of those children who are now stuck at home with their offender, right? Like the people, like the schools and these safe zones for them that they could go to are no longer. So it's just like now we need more efforts than ever to get these people out of these terrible situations and into like a safe zone, right? And so if you can't support physically, or if you can't like be on the front lines, then you want to be supporting those who are. And that's exactly what this whole fundraiser is about. Everybody can make a difference. Put your money where your mouth is, show up and be support. And I hate, I don't want to say that in like a negative sense, but you have to find what works for you in order to support the cause to start to shift these things, because nothing changes if nothing changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with your guys' run, can you kind of tell me about the details, like date, time, cost of tickets? Who do you guys have for sponsors right now? Do you have sponsorship spots still available? Are you having like food, and like how many people are invited? Can you tell me all the logistics?
Go for it.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
Passing the baton.
Sorry.
Passion, logistics.
Yeah, I have the hardest time keeping my mouth shut. She's like, you just like to talk. And I'm like, I don't shut up. So go. No, you go.
Okay, so it is on October 10th at, it's called Chris Larson Park. So a lot of people don't know where that is, but it's right by like the Lewis and Clark Museum down by the old riverboat.
She can have it.
Okay. And so, sorry.
Not my nose.
Real life. I have dogs like jumping all over me. My husband's outside chopping shit down. I mean, like you'll probably see a tree fall in the back. So
You're like, don't worry, it's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. October 10th. Keep going.
Okay. Yes. If you pre-register beforehand, you can come to pick up your packet and your shirt and all the goodies starting at 5. And the actual race will start at 7 when it starts to get a little bit darker. Come here. When it starts to get a little bit darker, so then all the glow stuff will turn on and everything like that. We also have, it's K&B Sweet Treats, a food truck coming. Okay.
Do you want a cookie?
Do you want to take over for a second?
Sure. There's cookies out there if she wants them.
Okay.
Okay, so K&B Sweet Treats will be like the food truck that'll be there, and they're going to be there at 5. So you can eat before the race. I don't know if anyone's been there or not. Like there's a park that if kids want to play or just hang out. But yeah, I don't know. What was the other of the 17?
Logistics. So where is it at? What time does it start? What are the, what are the shirts? What is a glow run? I know I've had people who ask me like, what is a glow run before? So
we did with pre-registration, you would get with your ticket, you would get a shirt and a glow bag. We will have those for sale separately. Obviously, if you miss pre-registration, or if you just want to come down and buy something or register right then, we will have those for sale. Tickets are $35 for an individual. If you want to do a group of 4 runners, it's $125.
okay.
And then we do have like youth discounts and stuff, like $20 for a youth ticket. I think 3 and under is free, I think is what we did it. So obviously families, it's good for families to get out. What else? Yeah, it starts at 7. And like you said, with COVID stuff, we'll space you out as best as we can. If you feel comfortable with your own group, that's great. You can, we'll try to like get people to go at different times, or like, wait 5 minutes or whatever, and that kind of stuff. I know we're having 105.7 do a live broadcast of the event, so they will be there. We are having a pastor from New Hope Church in Mobile come and talk before and do like a prayer before we start the event and stuff. So, I mean, I think How many do we have for
what?
Sponsors?
We have, oh gosh, it's about 20 now,
Yeah, I think we're about at 20 sponsors right now.
we have the different levels.
Yeah, we
Can
have
you
three.
talk about
No, we haven't. We have 3 different levels of sponsorship: 100, 300, and 500. We have the 300 gets you 2 runners, right? And then 500 gets you 4 runners. Does that come with the?
With t-shirts.
Yeah, and it comes with t-shirts too. So that's all included. And obviously, we will have this big banner at the front that has like the different levels, names of who donated and stuff. We will be having like a donation box because they're also in need of like feminine hygiene products, shampoos and conditioners and stuff like that. So, you know, out there, if there's someone who doesn't want to come or doesn't feel comfortable giving money to the situation, I mean, they're accepting that kind of stuff too. Like they're in need of those types of things. So we're happy to meet people to get those. We have different drop-off locations or at the event too.
Okay. And how long is the run? Is it like a 5K, a 10K? What are you guys doing for like the map and how long it is?
So it's exactly 2.2 miles. It's just under like the 5K.
Okay.
So we'll start at the Chris Larson Park and then it goes past, what is it, Crave? And then it just goes down and it comes back. So you don't have to worry about like shuttling back and forth from like the start to the finish line or anything like that. So
so is it going to go up by like the Riverside area and then back? Is
yeah,
that
yeah, it heads that way, like out towards like Boat Club and stuff.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, but then it'll just be like a turnaround and come back, and we will have like people at the end, you know, volunteers that if you need anything or whatever, and
we'll have water along the way.
Yeah, water and glow. We're gonna have.
So what are the glow things? Are you guys doing like glow paint and black lights? Are you doing glow sticks, glow halos? What do you guys have for that?
So we have glow sticks, glow necklaces, bracelets, sunglasses. We got like these tubes. I don't know how else you would explain it. Like,
yeah, well, they're like these big like party tubes, like probably at like a rave or something.
Rave party. So
yeah. Right, like they're these huge foam glow sticks that people can purchase and stuff, and then we will obviously have like, you know, rope lights and glow sticks and just stuff to line the trail to help people see and make it fun. And we got like a glow in the dark arch for like the starting place, and so yeah, balloons and just pretty much anything that you can think of that's like glow in the dark. We had talked about glow in the dark paint or stuff, but I think we think it might be a little too, my luck, it's not going to work. Something's going to happen where it's not going to work. And I don't know if like black lights, it's too hard for almost 2 miles to throw black lights the entire way. And
makes sense.
Yeah.
No worries. So, okay. So how do people register for this? Where can they go? Where are tickets being sold?
So if they have Facebook, which I mean, most people do these days, but you can look up Out of the Darkness Glow Run, and we have a link right on our Facebook page to buy the tickets. Okay. Otherwise, the actual link is Out of the Darkness Glow Run, right? Out of the Darkness Glow Run.
Here. And like,
are you guys on like the community calendars and stuff like that in Sioux City too?
Yes, on KTIV, their calendar. Meet the Needs Siouxland is another one that we're on, which I am just learning about them, and they have a really cool mission too. So I won't get into all that, but if you haven't looked into Meet the Need, you definitely should.
I'll have to put that on the list too. So what was that website again?
It is Out of the Darkness Glow Run.simpletix, SIMPLETIX.com.
And what we'll do for our viewers and our listeners, we will grab this information from you guys so that they can just scroll down to the show notes and click those links. I'll also tag your guys' social media accounts too, so that they can follow you and ask any questions there. Do you guys have an email address or a phone number to include if people have questions?
Yes, the email, go for it.
I'm like, good question. Our email is scglowrun@scglowrun2020@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, so they can email questions there.
Yep.
Final question, and that is, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence, or they are thinking about supporting you, or they're just starting into the journey of learning about sex trafficking?
Okay, well, without me being like a harsh bee, I just try to picture someone you know and love in that situation, and then think, would you just like sweep that under the rug? I mean, I understand there's so many things out there that you could donate to, give money to, help to, and it's, you know, it's not necessarily all about money, but you have to be like, okay, I have a niece, or I have a daughter, I have a son, I have a friend, my, you know, a goddaughter, whatever it is, take them and put them in a situation that could potentially happen, and be like, is it worth it to just ignore? Whether it's you're just going to come volunteer, or you're just going to bring some shampoos and drop off, like all of those things matter to people and they help. And I mean, I just think, put yourself in that situation. What would you do? What would you want that person to do if it was your daughter or your niece? Would you want them to not care?
Absolutely. And it's even if you can't be there physically, like you said, I mean, there's other ways that you can donate. You can donate your time, you can donate supplies, you can donate monetarily. And another thing that people can do is they can just educate themselves, right? Because knowledge is power, and we don't know what we don't know. And some people will be I'm going to say horrifically surprised when they start reading some of this stuff, because there's nothing pleasant about it. Let's be honest. And a lot of times people just turn a blind eye to those things, right? And we don't have to be consumed in it, but we do need to educate ourselves, and we do need to be able to stand up for those who maybe don't have a voice and can't stand up for themselves.
Yeah, I would say there are definitely different ways you can learn signs of, like, they have free online courses to like know the signs of sex trafficking. Like, take 20 minutes and do that, so you know kind of what to look for. I mean, we all stop at gas stations on road trips. You go to Sioux Falls, you stop at the Coffee Cup, and it's like, when you see kids running out of the gas station, are you thinking, are they okay? Like, are they with, you know, it's just little things like that that could make a difference, could change someone's life. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like if you just take a little bit here and there, read up on it, know the signs, and like, you don't have to donate money, like share our page, or, you know, just get the word out there that this is going on. If you can't help in any other way, share the information, because then someone else might be able to.
So one last question, and that would be, what is your number one source to go to for information and educating yourself on this topic?
Okay, so mine is, it's on Instagram, and let me find it it's Our Rescue is what it is. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
Okay, Tim Ballard or whatever. So Operation Underground Railroad with Tim Ballard, it's ourrescue.org. That is like the main thing I go to. He's like a Bible for this type of stuff, I feel like. So if you want to know more about it, I suggest going to either his Instagram or their website. They have the courses to take for, you know, signs of sex trafficking and stuff. They throw out a lot of facts and a lot of eye-opening things. And I mean, I'm definitely not going to go down the rabbit hole of being like, why don't you Google some of your celebs that you like and see what they're all about? But that's on another day. I mean, I would stick with them. They have a lot of knowledge and a lot of good information.
Okay, definitely. I will also add that link to the show notes for our listeners and viewers to go see. But any final thoughts, any final words before we kind of wrap this up?
I'm just excited for the event to get here and to see the community like come together and support a local cause and bring a ton of awareness to this in our area.
Yeah, same.
I love that. Well, thank you both for finally meeting with me. I know we had some technical difficulties getting started, but well, bam, we're here and we did it. And I'm excited too. And I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm excited to share with the community, and anybody listening or viewing. If you have questions, feel free to shoot them out to me too. And I would be happy to get you in touch with these two. So we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.